have missed the lecture, you can also see. So, my dear students, we are actually learning this part about our the various RDNA based technologies. So, in my previous lecture, I have told you that we have also seen these things in our unit 1, this part also, this part and this part. In my last lecture, I have given you a brief introduction about the cloning. Then I think I have started this two part. Then after that, the time was not sufficient and I have ended. And meanwhile, I have also given you a basic understanding of the remaining thing, whatever we already have learned in unit 1. So by today, our this particular entire unit will be completed. So let me just skip to my main agenda. So study of cloning vector. In that part, we have seen what is cloning vector, why actually we need cloning vector, the various vector in gene cloning, features, then additional properties of cloning vector, what are the types, plasmid, human artificial chromosome, and what determines the that is a choice of vector. We have seen these things in our previous days, why we need the cloning, vector, various features. Within features, we have seen the origin of the replication, cloning site. Then we have seen the selectable marker, reporter gene. Then we have seen the other various vectors or other various properties of the vectors, like it should be very small and short, it should be compatible with the host cell and compatible with the other vector, and should become high in copy number, and it should be able to express itself utilizing in the force machinery, and it should be also able to move under two systems, that is prokaryote and eukaryote. In the various types of cloning vector like plasmid, bacteriophage, cosmid, bacterial artificial chromosome. In simply we will call it as a BAC, then each artificial chromosome, in short we call it as a YSC, YAC, and human artificial chromosome, in short we call it as a HSC. Then retroviral vectors we have seen, and after that, one by one, I have tried to give you some of the majorly used the vectors like plasmid. I told you what is plasmid. Already you have seen the unit 1, and again I have discussed the same part. This is the gene of interest. This is the plasmid. By using the restriction enzyme, you are going to divide this. You are going to unbind these things, and ultimately the gene of interest will be actually inserted in this area by using ligate enzyme, and then the entire plasmid will be formed. This will be transferred into the bacterial cell, and when it will be grow, it will be actually translate this part also, so that you will be getting the protein. Then I have told you the human artificial chromosome, then the various size, and then I have given you a basic understanding of the recombinant DNA technology, under which we have seen what is RDNA, then discovery, goals, procedure, techniques, and application. This part in detail we have learned in our unit 1. But still, yesterday, my lecture, I have given you the basic understanding. And in procedure, I told you the isolation, cutting, joining, and amplifying. Isolation, cutting, you have to cut, then you have to join those things by using the sticky ends, and joining, and after that, that is amplifying. So lots of enzymes are actually used. What are the enzymes are used? What are their function? That things I also discussed, and I have told you the various techniques like gel electrophoresis, cloning library, restriction enzyme, PCR, nucleic acid hybridization, and DNA microarrays. These are the various techniques are used to analyze or to assay the RDNA, whatever the RDNA you have produced. So one by one I have discussed about these various techniques, and then I have mentioned the application part. Even we have seen in our unit 1, the last part, and at the end it was the application of the RDNA in the production of interferon vaccines, various vaccines like hepatitis B vaccine, and hormones like insulin. So what are the application? So I think that part was not widely have discussed on yesterday's lecture because of the shortage of time. So today I will give you the basic understanding of all these various parts. So first of all, let me tell you the interferon. I hope you have remembered or you have listened this word various time during the lecture of your class 11 or class 12 when your teacher might be teaching you about the immunity. So interferons are actually a group of signaling protein. Okay, this is the picture of interferon. You can see these are the basic various proteins, and it is released by the host cell in response to the presence of several viruses. SARS-CoV-2. If virus will be entering in the body, then a host cell will be releasing interferon. So in typical scenario, a virus actually infect the cell and will release the interferon, causing the nearby cells to heighten their antiviral defenses. Here is a cell, here is another cell. In this cell, one virus has entered, so it will release interferon, so that this other cell can also release It's that is the neighbor cell can release the cells which can increase its immunity. Okay, so that's why it simply will call it as also INF, interferons. INF we could also tell. So these are belong to a large class of protein known as cytokines. All of you might have listened this word cytokine storm, है ना, cytokine storm. तुम लोगों ने सुने होंगे अभी कोविड के टाइम में कि बहुत लोगों की डेथ हुए जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ द cytokine storm, नॉट बिकॉज ऑफ द कोविड वायरस, है ना. सो सर व्हाट इज cytokine storm? देखो बहुत सिंपल सी बात है. अगर तुम इसको ऐसे समझो कि तुम्हारे घर में मान लो आग लग गई, नॉट तुम्हारे घर में, मान लो मैं ऐसे एग्जांपल दे रहा हूँ, मान लो किसी की घर में जो कोई प्रॉब्लम हुआ, नॉट सच काइंड ऑफ वेरी रफ थिंग, किसी के घर में कोई प्रॉब्लम हुआ तो क्या होते हैं जो है सोसाइटी में एक बेल बजते हैं, एक बेल बजा देते हैं ना लोग. क्यों? ताकि सब लोग अलर्ट हो जाए, है ना. मान लो भूकंप आ गया, अभी जो है भूकंप आ गया. सो इन आवर नॉर्थ ईस्ट वहाँ पे जो महिलाएं होते हैं ना वो लोग जो है देयर इज सम नॉइस, सम उल्लू ध्वनि, ठीक है. सम द लेडीज एक्चुअली प्रोड्यूस सम काइंड्स ऑफ स्पेशल नॉइस सो दैट द अदर पीपल गेट अलर्ट. Okay, similarly, in this case, if we have a cell and our cell is get infected by a virus, cell will release this thing called interferon to other cells, to neighborhood cells, so that they can alert and they can release the immunity boosting or immunity creating the cells like B cells, T cells, etc. thing. So the interferon are actually it's belong to a large class of the cytokine. Cytokine storm, whatever I was telling you. So when COVID-19 actually was outbroken, then a lots of research paper was there related to cytokine. Basically, when the COVID virus will enter in your cell, so that cell will be infected and it will release some interferon. Means it will be release some cytokine, and that cytokine when it will be increase a lot. Cytokine means simple, it is a toxic substance. When it will increase a lot, it will again create a problem. अगर ज़्यादा मात्रा में cytokine रिलीज होंगे ना, then again it will be a problem. That's why you have seen the word cytokine storm in case of SARS-CoV-2. So molecules used to communicate between the cells to trigger the protective defenses of the immune system that helps to eradicate the pathogen. It helps to eradicate the pathogen. तुम लोग कॉलेज में क्या करते हो? तुम लोग मान लो आज कहीं पे बंक मार के तुम लोग घूमने गए हो, है ना. किसी एक बच्चे को जो है टीचर ने देख लिया, तो तुम लोग व्हाट्सएप पे मैसेज करते हो एक दूसरे को. सो व्हाट्सएप in your case and for the case of our cell, this is interferon. So interferon actually playing a role to inform the other cells. So but I will not suggest that you should go for bunk that is without taking lecture, because it is very much important. So the naturally occurring proteins and glycoproteins secreted by the eukaryotic cells in the response of the viral protein, tumors, and including other biological individuals. Not only the virus, including tumor, meaning cancer cells. Okay, in cancer cells also, when the cancer cell will grow in a very rapid number, in that case also cytokine will be there will be some cytokine storm or there will be some release of the interferon. Structurally, they are a part of the helical cytokine family, which are characterized by the amino acid chain, that is almost 144 to 166 amino acid long. ठीक है, वहाँ पे जो प्रोटीन देख रहे हो तुम लोग, इसके जो साइज होगा, इसका जो लेंथ होगा, देयर विल बी नियर अबाउट 145 to 166 अमीनो एसिड. कैन यू टेल मी एनी ऑफ द फ्यू नेम ऑफ अमीनो एसिड? एनीबॉडी? विकसित, रीना, तुम लोग कुछ अमीनो एसिड के नाम बता सकते हो? ऋषभ, निशिता?
ल्यूसीन, आर्जिनाइन, वेलाइन.
वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड. कितने हैं टोटल ऋषभ ऐसे अमीनो एसिड्स?
ऐसे तो याद नहीं है अभी कितने हैं.
कोई नहीं, दैट्स गुड.
सर 18 होते हैं. 18 होते हैं. 18.
या रवि, यू आर सेइंग समथिंग, प्लीज.
सर 18 अमीनो एसिड्स होते हैं जो एसेंशियल होते हैं.
yes, you are correct. देखो एक्चुअली पुराने बुक्स में ना अर्लियर टाइम इट वाज रिटन 18, आफ्टर दैट इट वाज 20, नाउ इन द न्यूअर बुक्स विल बी गेटिंग 21. ठीक है, आर्जिनिन, हिस्टिडाइन, लाइसिन, वैलिन, सिस्टेनिन, ऐसे अगर गिनो विल बी गेटिंग 20. सेलानोसिस्टीन, a new amino acids, it is actually introduced, but many of the books you will not getting this thing. So if you are saying 20, it is correct. So if you are saying 18, so your teacher will be understand that yes, तुम्हें जो है नया books से मिलानी होगा. So you are actually quoting that thing. So yes, you are actually absolutely correct. So those things, whatever Rishabh was saying, that is arginine, histidine, lysine, then your aspartic acid, uh, valine, glutamic acid, all these things will be, if these things are present, it will be 145 to 166 amino acids long. Then INF also, IFNs also have various other functions, like they activate the immune cells. Then they increase the host defense by upregulating the antigen presentation by virtue of the increasing the excretion of the major histocompatibility antigens. And yes, certain symptoms of infection such as fever, muscle pain, flu-like symptoms are also caused by the production of the IFN. So IFN or interference, these are good, or in some cases you may, that is take them as bad, because you will be getting fever or getting muscle pain or flu-like symptoms. Basically, they are informing the other human cells, so that they can activate and they may start the work. है ना. हमारे यहाँ पे जो है, मान लो दोज पीपल आर स्टिल लिविंग इन सोसाइटी, है ना. तुम लोगों ने देखे होंगे गार्ड होता है तुम्हारी जो है सोसाइटी में. सो बहुत टाइम तुमने देखे होंगे रात को जो है ना, वो गार्ड जो है कोई एक हुइसल या फिर कुछ जो है वो बजाता रहता है. और जनरली जो ठेठ हमारे जो वैलीज हमने देखा गार्ड है ना, गार्ड वो चिल्लाते रहे जागते रहो रात को, है ना, जागते रहो. वो खुद सोता नहीं है तो दूसरों को कहते हैं जागते रहो. सिमिलरली हमारे जो ये दैट इज प्रोटीन है इंटरफेरॉन, इट इज ऑल्सो प्लेइंग ए रोल ऑफ गार्ड. वो खुद जो है, मान लो कोई चोर आ गया है, तो चोर जो है, या फिर मान लो कोई आतंकवादी आ गया इन आवर सिटी, सो गार्ड तो आतंकवादी से नहीं लड़ सकता. So guard will call to the police. Guard will call to the police. Similarly, in our case, interferon. Interferon is the guard. In your cell, some antigen actually entered. So interferon will call to macrophage or other immune cell like B cell, T cell. इनको जो है it will inform that you may activate and go and destroy. So basically, this is how interferon is actually playing a big role. So the more than 20 distinct IFN genes and proteins have been identified in the animal and including humans. And typically they are like type 1, they are actually classified into different way, like type 1, type 2, then your type 3. So IFN or interference actually belongs to all three classes, are actually important in fighting the viral infection. So if I tell you, this is a very good picture of type 1 IFNs. You can see these are the various cells, or these are the various that is responses it is actually producing. So the blue things you are observing are like this, and this. These blue things are actually protective. It is actually protecting ourselves, like protection of the epithelial barrier, then systemic hyperinflammation, then your bacteremia, and protective cytokine production. These are actually protective. It is protecting you, including bacterial clearance. In your lung, you will be observing बहुत टाइम है ना छींके आ जाते हैं हम लोगों को. हम लोग जो है बहुत ही जो है छींकते हैं, स्नीजिंग होते हैं हम लोगों को. व्हाई? बिकॉज देयर माइट बी सम प्रेजेंस ऑफ माइक्रोब्स एंड अदर थिंग्स, एंड योर साइटोकाइन विल बी एक्टिवेटेड. इट विल बी फोर्स टू you exhale the bacteria and other substances, antigens from your lung. Now other things, other the reacting whatever you are observing, other react things like the immunosuppressive cytokine production, promotion of the leukocyte death and pro-inflammatory response, that is IL-1/7-AF production, immune cell recruitment, INF gamma production and responses. In this case, it is actually attacking or destroying. It is actually INF actually producing some detrimental effect. Some detrimental, माने वहाँ पे अटैक होगा, वहाँ पे अटैक. हम लोग जो है गार्ड क्या करते हैं सोसाइटी को बचाने के लिए, गार्ड जो है पहले प्रोटेक्शन करेगा, पहले वो जो रोकेगा कि डोंट कम. मान लो कोई फॉरेन बंदा है, कोई बाहर से बंदा आ रहा है तुम्हारी सोसाइटी में, तो गार्ड जो है एंटर करने के लिए मना करेगा कि नहीं आप अलाउड नहीं हो, आप क्या क्या देखो, आप कहाँ से आए हो, मीन्स प्रोटेक्टिव. लास्ट में क्या होगा, जब ये ज़्यादा दिक्कत करेंगे, लास्ट में क्या होगा, गार्ड जो है अपना बंदूक निकालेगा, है ना, एंड इफ द सिचुएशन इज वेरी सीवियर देन इट विल फायर. सिमिलरली cytokine जो है, that is interferon जो है, it is also playing the same role. I have a very interesting video. I am so happy to show you that video, how these things are actually working. But let me share the video, PPT again, because what I presume you will not able to see the system audio. So I hope it is very much visible to your screen. Let me play the video. You can see.
The immune system has several defense
Rishabh, you are getting the system audio?
mechanisms.
Yes, sir.
Viral infection.
So you may listen.
The immune system has several defense mechanisms against viral infection. Here, a virus binds to its target cell. As we saw, it fuses with the host cell and releases its genetic material into the cytoplasm. When the foreign genetic material enters the cell and starts to synthesize viral products, the cell is stimulated to make alpha and beta interferons. These interferons can signal to neighboring cells to directly inhibit viral metabolism. They do this by binding to interferon receptors, which signal the synthesis of antiviral proteins. The antiviral proteins can switch the cell into a virus-resistant state if it should become infected. Interferon gamma, produced by the activated T cells, also induces synthesis of MHC class I molecules, which make the cell more readily recognized by cytotoxic T cells. When a virus infects the activated neighboring cell, the antiviral proteins detect foreign genetic material, becoming activated, and block viral replication by breaking down the mRNA and stopping protein synthesis. These proteins put the cell into stasis, which limits further replication of the virus and
So I hope it is very much clear to you all that how it is actually working. So
several
when the virus will
target cell.
enter, so your cytokine will be released. You can see cytokine is actually releasing, means interferon actually releasing. So this interferon actually already informed the other cells, You can see these things already informed the other cells. So when the virus will be attacking other cells, the interferon will be killing those bacteria or those viruses. So you can see in this cell there are lots of viruses, and in this cell it is actually not able to destroy the cell, rather than the virus actually destroyed. Okay, so this is the process by which the interferon actually working. So in diseases, it is also already play a very big role. I already have mentioned. I will not mention this thing again, including in drug formulation. Nowadays, we are actually giving these various interferon, like interferon alpha 2A, interferon alpha 2B, then human leukocyte interferon alpha, then interferon beta 1A, interferon beta 1A in the that is lyophilized form, then interferon beta 1A in the giving in the Iran, in another country, then gamma, then pegylation, etc., etc. So we are actually giving nowadays interferon to in our body in a pharmaceutical formulation. Okay, first it was actually reported in 1986. Then in 2001, the FDA approved the pegylated interferon alpha. Whatever you are seeing here, these are the things. These are the trade name what are actually available in the market. I hope any of the such names you might have ever seen in the market. So let me tell you how you can produce interferon by using rDNA. The process is very simple. Process is very simple. You have bacterial cell. So you will be just focusing on the protoplast. Okay, bacterial cell. So enzyme, by using enzyme, you'll be degrading that thing, and you'll be getting the protoplast. And in solution, protoplast will be treated with the that is polyethylene glycol, and protoplast will be fused. So for example, from this part, this is producing the interferon. So it will be fuse that thing with this. You can see it is really recombinant cell. And now when it will grow along with the antenna information present here. So how you will insert? So here whatever I am showing you, that whatever here I have shown you, just a second. Sorry. Yeah, here whatever things I have actually shown you, that for example this is the gene of interest, and this is the vector. This is a vector. So both the things are actually present in bacteria. You can also take the gene of interest in the lab also. Synthetic gene you can also insert. You can take, I can fix with the plasmid, and it will be by using the restriction and ligase enzyme. First will be that is cutting the DNA, cutting the plasmid, and by using ligase enzyme you will just fix it like this. You can see both the things are actually fixed, and then you will be giving you will be just expressing that thing in cell that is a culture, so that you can get the particular protein. So how you will fuse? Here I am telling you the fusing. You can fuse the DNA by the transformation, electroporation, or the protoplast fusion or microinjection. Any of the process you can follow. Through that you can get the interferon. So these are the some that is features which are sometimes actually observed during the clinical administration. Some clinical toxicity of interferon. Now, after discussing interferon, let me talk to few things about the hepatitis. I think in my yesterday's lecture, I have given you some slight insights of the hepatitis virus. I told you what is hepatitis virus and what are the basic symptoms. I hope you can recall that thing. ऋषभ मैंने डिस्कस किया था ना, तुम्हारे बीच में तो किया था या दूसरा जो है सेक्शन ए में किया था?
सर बस यहीं स्टार्ट किया था, यहीं पहुंचे थे.
So hepatitis is very simple. It's a virus. It will be actually affecting your that is liver. It will be affecting your liver. Your liver cell will be get destroyed. So after infection of the such hepatitis B virus, you will be observing such kind of symptoms: fever, fatigue, loss of appetite, nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, then dark urine and other color bowel movement, joint pain, jaundice, movement, and other things. You will be observing such things as a symptom if you are getting infected by hepatitis B virus. Now, it is not a very new virus. It was a very old virus. In 5th century BC, first time it was actually described, and then there are lots of outbreak like in 1983. In 1947, McCollum and Weir, they have given the term hepatitis. For hepatitis A for the infectious, B for the serum. Then the terminology was adopted by WHO in 1973. And the term actually describes the inflammation. So right now there are lots of types: hepatitis A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. So F is basically the mutant of the B virus. F is basically hepatitis F is the mutation of the B virus, hepatitis B virus. So hepatitis B actually mostly the dangerous virus. Okay, that's why we are actually learning how to produce hepatitis B vaccine. So for the production of the hepatitis B vaccine, first you need the hepatitis B virus. From that virus, you have to take its genomic material, DNA or RNA. Okay, whatever the genomic material is present, you have to take out that thing. In that, from that genomic material, you have to take a certain part of its gene. Okay, from entire genome, only one part, one gene or 2 or 3 gene will be taken, and that gene should be antigen-producing gene. And you have the bacteria. You have the bacteria, and the bacteria have plasmid. So plasmid will be cutting by restriction enzyme, and you will be inserting that particular gene, whatever you have taken out from the virus, and from that particular entire genome, from that particular one area or one particular area which can produce the antigenicity, you will insert that thing into the plasmid, and it will form like this. It will be called as a recombinant DNA, and you will be putting that thing under a recombinant that is a yeast cell, so that you can get the recombinant that is a yeast cell. And then under fermentation tank, you will do fermenting, and yeast will produce the hepatitis B vaccine. Then you can give the vaccine to any people. So this is how it is actually produced, hepatitis B vaccine. So process is very simple in case of the interferon, in case of the hepatitis B vaccine, and in case of the insulin also. Process is completely same. Process is completely same. You need some gene of interest. You need some bacterial plasmid. You will just mix both the thing. First, you will cut the plasmid, cut the plasmid by using the restriction enzyme, and you will fix the gene of interest and the plasmid by using the ligase enzyme. And then you will be putting that thing under the bacteria, and bacteria will be grow. It will be grow from 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 6, 6 to 8, and it will grow on and on and on. When it will express, it will be producing your interested protein. Here I need the HB vaccine. So it will be producing some part of the hepatitis B virus vaccine, virus parts. When it will be entered, when it will be administered into a patient's body, so the patient's body will be getting some part of the virus, and it will enter immune system will be activated. The virus will be get killed. The virus component or virus substance or the some part of the substance whatever you have inserted, it will be get killed, and one memory cell will be saved the information. In future, if real virus may enter into the body, so that the cytochrome can become active, and the B cell and T cell can go there and kill this entire virus. Similar process we are also doing for SARS-CoV-2, SARS-CoV-2, and for all the vaccines we are actually following the same methodology, especially the mRNA vaccine. Okay. Another very interesting protein that you are supposed to know how you can produce, it is called insulin. So all of you are aware that insulin actually produced by the beta cell of our pancreas and permit the glucose to enter in your cell, so that the glucose actually control can be limited. Okay, I have written in detail about the particular insulin here. So you have seen in my previous lectures also how you can produce the insulin by using that is recombinant DNA. Same thing I have discussed in a step-by-step manner. So this is a bacteria. Again, the same process. Whatever you have seen here in the production of the hepatitis B vaccine, whatever you have seen in case of the interferon, and whatever you have seen earlier also, same process, same recombinant DNA process will be followed here also. Here you have to take on bacteria. You have to insert the insulin producing gene in the bacteria's plasmid. In the bacteria's plasmid, you have to insert the that is a human insulin producing gene. After that, when it will be inserted into the bacteria, and you will be just keep the bacteria in the cell culture medium, the bacteria will grow and it will also produce some amount of the insulin. Earlier time it was very difficult. Earlier time pigs are actually sacrificed. Because of the pig pancreas, there was some amount of insulin was actually present. That's why insulin is so costly in earlier time. Right now, it is very much easy and it is very much cheap. So this is the step. First is the preparing. The first step is the isolation of your DNA. Then in second step, you have to cut the that is a plasmid by using the restriction enzyme. In third step, you have to combine the gene of interest within the plasmid or the vector. Sometimes the plasmid को हम vector भी कहते हैं, CTOR vector. Sometimes जो है plasmid को हम vector भी कहते हैं, ठीक है, याद रखना. And after you mixing the recombinant plasmid with the bacteria, in the next case we have to put the recombinant plasmid into the bacterial cell, and then it will be just amplify itself, and it will also producing some insulin. So that's it from particular that topic on insulin. And another thing. Just a second, let me just see a few things. Some of the slides are actually missing. Just a second. Student, just a second. There are some slides. There's some problem with my slides. Just a second. Let me just fix the glitches. Okay, so everything is so fine now. Some slides were actually was not in the corrected form. That's why I have taken. Now I think this is in the corrected form. Yeah. So let me share the slide again. Yeah, so that thing actually I was actually trying to tell you that how the production will be actually happening. Now another thing actually that is associated in our this topic, it is called brief introduction into the PCR. Already we have seen the PCR or polymerase chain reaction in our unit 1. We have also learned the RT-PCR in the unit 1. I hope you can remember my previous lecture. So I told you what is the PCR principle, and there are various steps are actually involved, like denaturation, inhaling, extension, and cycling. And after that, the products of extension, and then some I have told you the overall principle of PCR, then the requirements, instrumentation, advantages, and application. So in a very quick recap, I will tell you it was actually introduced in many times ago, and it was actually developed by Kerry Mullis in 1983. Then first publication was actually appeared in 1985 in the journal called Science. Then purified tech polymer actually used. Then that is a Parkin Ilmayer introduced the automated thermal that is cycler, and later on actually it is going on and on and on since the tech polymerase, what is actually called as a molecule of the year. There are lots of Nobel Prize also given in this particular area. So polymerase injection is basically very simple. You have one DNA, you will just amplifying 2, then 2 to 4, from 4 to 8. Okay, so like that it will be going on and on and on. We have seen that how denaturation is happening in the video in our previous lectures, and healing, then extension, and then cycling. For SARS-CoV-2 we have seen in case of the RT-PCR, if somebody is positive with RT-PCR, his graph will be like this. This is the time, and this is the temperature and other things. So if somebody is negative with the SARS-CoV-2, his graph will be like this. Based on that, because with passing of time, the number of nucleotides is actually increasing. That's why the graph is like this. So that thing we have seen in our previous lecture. So I have nothing to more tell you on particular PCR. So these are the basic requirements. Instrumentation also you have seen, and these are the 3 aspects: specificity, efficiency, and fidelity. So if it is not work, then you can that is to fix, you can go through with any of this technique. And this is an example of a program, that is the temperature or timing or cycle, whatever will be followed during the experiment. The advantages I already mentioned in the previous lecture, and also the application. Various diseases. Here first application already you are actually doing RT-PCR for COVID-19. There are lots of diseases, for which diseases as of now there are no any detection kit, DETECTION. So you can also make some RT-PCR based kit for such diseases. These are the applications. And in conclusion, RT-PCR is not only a vital clinical laboratory by amplifying the small amount of DNA for acid detection, but also plays an important role in genetic predisposing for defects such as factor V Leiden. And this RT-PCR technology can also be employed in law enforcement, genetic testing, animal stock, and like vegetables, hybrids, drug screening, and many other applications. So these are the things which are actually coming under PCR. That's it from my side for today. And with this, we are also ending our this part called Unit 3. I will share these MCQs with you people so that you can answer very nicely. And from this unit, there are not so much questions are actually asked in previous years. Actually, this subject was actually new. The subject was actually new. Earlier time, it was the syllabus was not actually completely similar. But still you can see some questions like antigen antibody, then mutation, then you can see such no, not so much questions, anyway, but still you should learn these things. So that's it from my side, and if you have any question, you are welcome to ask. Let me also download your attendance. ऋषभ, कोई सवाल है? समझ में आया पूरा जो मैंने समझाया?
जी सर, समझ में आ गया, बाकी पढ़ना पड़ेगा एक बार।
ये आसान है ना काफी?
सर इजी तो है,
क्योंकि पहले जो है ना ऑलरेडी तुम लोग जो है ये सारा चीज जान चुकी हो इन द प्रीवियस लेक्चर्स। उस टाइम है ना तुम जैसे जो है इफ यू सी लॉट्स ऑफ वीडियोस, यूट्यूब में बहुत वीडियोस है, बहुत टीचर्स जो लेक्चर्स देते, सो आई एम नॉट दैट इज हैप्पी विथ देयर लेक्चर बिकॉज दे डू नॉट टीच विद डिटेल, पूरा डिटेल के साथ जो है लेक्चर जो है होते नहीं है। सो दैट्स वाई यूनिट 1 में जो है मैंने सारा जो बायोटेक्नोलॉजी है, हमारा जो पूरा बायोटेक्नोलॉजी है, इसको यूनिट 1 में जो है मैंने बहुत ही जो है सिस्टमेटिक में समझा दिया। अब कोई भी टॉपिक हो बायोटेक्नोलॉजी के, सो तुम्हें वो चीज़ पता चलता रहेगा कि हाँ ऐसे ऐसे काम करता है। ओके, सो let me just call the